your new Toyota Starlet Cross. Own it.
iDiskiTV, powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Stellenbosch going to Orlando Stadium once again to collect all the maximum points against the Orlando Pirates. But to talk about umdlalo wanamhlanje, I've got Lindo Pep, phazana to Bobo, to Kumblu Bobo. Lindo, kunjani mfethu?
Ngishapshene nje ukrenda
jam. No.
Think shy protocol. Ngibulisa Mr Nkiwu. Ngibulise the legendary Tsovilakazi. Ngibulisa Bobo Mnciti. Ngibulise le out yami ukhohla, ngibulise uJustice of course. Shane athi siphule lento siyincenge kancane si-striphe le moto. Congratulations to Stellenbosch. Obviously congratulations to Steve Parker. It's a huge win for Stellenbosch. Congratulations to the players. I think the application is incredible from those players, considering the fact that they came from Emali. Obviously I think they arrived in a match day -1, Shane, which is important to mention because it's unbelievable energy that they gave in this game to defend for absolutely 90 minutes, 11 men behind the ball, winning your jewels, competing. You understand? For me, that was incredible. It was a game plan. Obviously, Stellenbosch, we all know, Stellenbosch doesn't apply themselves like this. Obviously, the personnel, coach Stevie Parker, that he probably trusts in terms of his starting 11, Sake was not there. We have to mention the fact that Tupasadine was not there. He's an important player for them. He's an international player, Shane. He's very important, not only on the field, off the field as well, with guiding those younger players. You can see Mbatha that he's training next to Pasadine. Irons sharpen iron, Shane. So you can see the boy Mbatha that he's been training no Pasadine, he's been competing no Pasadine. He's a better left back today because of he's competing no Pasadine. I understand, Shane. Incredible performance as well from Umloisane. Kept Urile very quiet today. You know Urile, he played in a plan. He's one that also come individual brilliance. He's one who's creativity. He's one who's thinking. But unbelievable defense from Umloisana. A good cover from Mutore. For me, in my opinion, in that back line, my man of the match of that back line is Umkaba. A 22-year-old centre back, left-footed, defends like a midfielder in terms of him being aggressive, reading him a situation. He understands his primary job, which is to defend, Shane. He competes in the air. He's got a good leap in him. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. Reminds me of Mvala a little bit, but a little bit more technically very good. Situation. There's a ball that will fly more in Shane. I'll kill it down. You know, passes with both feet as well. I think he played well as well in terms of cover around the defensive side. An incredible job that was done by Usipho Nduli. I don't think, in my opinion, Unduli is underrated because I think he's been given his flowers. I think he's the one midfielder away from the big clubs. He's the one that has been looked out for. He's the one that is assessed. He's the one that is scrutinized because we believe that he's one of the best in the league currently that are playing. Is he a midfielder that will also champagne pass? No. Is he a midfielder that would break lines for you? No. But he's a midfielder that will understand the role in terms of being an anchor, defending and protecting that back line. And then he's got a good pass in him. He can play, he can combine, but he doesn't have those 50-meter passes, 30-meter passes that would break a team in terms of a diagonal touch. But Lala next to Putsaka. Putsaka is more of a controller. He plays strictly central midfielder. One also who's not too creative, but a typical central midfielder who runs, who dictates the tempo of the game. I think he also played well. If you check next to Unduli, he had a very quiet game, and this is what I want to see from my defensive midfielder, Shane. When I'm watching the game, I don't expect to see you. I did not see Unduli. I did not see a lot of Uchinin Palace. In my opinion, I didn't even know that he's a midfielder. Very surprised. Uchunyang Jelo, who comes from Kaizer Chiefs, went on to Europe, didn't really play much in South African football. He's learning, he needs to learn and understand the intensity of the league. In my opinion, you look at those 6 players, including Osage Stevens, incredible work, incredible defensive work, incredible. They are tactically very sharp. I understand that they played for the coach. You can tell that when the football is a game of relations, I always say, Shane, you can tell that they fought for Stevie Parker. They understood the game plan and they stick to the game plan. I understand that, Shane. They understood him. They were very coachable today in terms of his Stellenbosch.
As you line up before it game, you could see Guti Pasadine was not there. There was also Jaden Adams, Bengekopa. Before
Jaden, Shane.
Before it game, because you line up Orlando Pirates. If we look at way, we not straight win Orlando Pirates. But you could see what does this say the quality of Stellenbosch. I mean, to dish out the performance without your 2 most important players. I can say they are Bafana International. Jaden was Bafana International before he was dropped by coach Hugo Bros. But because of players, your most important players, but you come out with 3 points at Orlando Stadium. What does that say in quality of Stellenbosch?
Shane, you have to mention this first. They played a mid-low block in the first half. In the second half, buzzing him in a low block. Orlando Pirates had to break that. But it's important to mention that you're talking about a very good team here. When you're speaking about the Stellenbosch, you're talking about the 3rd best team in the league. in terms of performance, in terms of profile, in terms of personnel of players as well. You're looking at Abomloisana. Abomloisana, if you check out technically, tactically, and also in terms of decision making, you will find that there's a reason why they're international players, Shane. You check with Jaden Adams, decision making, quality on the ball, quality off the ball as well. You understand, the international player. You check with Usage Stevens on the ball, handling, positioning as well, international player. Looking at Uture, if I don't know which country he comes from, I'm not sure, maybe you can tell me, but he looked Ivory Coast. Thank you very much, Mr. Nkeo. He looks like an international player, but you can obviously, it's very difficult to play in countries like Ivory Coast. The very same with Mbatha boy. The Mbatha boy, I'm not saying he's an international player, but he looks like a very good backup for Upasadine. But in my opinion, pound for pound, in terms of players, that Stellenbosch team is not too far from the Orlando Pirates in terms of starting 11. You saw even in the final, Shane, they competed very well in the Orlando Pirates. You understand? For me, in this game, I even said on the radio show that we do know, Mr. Nkeo, I had said, Shane, this is going to be a draw in my opinion, because I also understand that Stevie is also a very good game reader. He reads the game very well, Coach Stevie, and he always gives the Orlando Pirates problems. If you check, there's a game where Orlando Pirates scored 2-0. They came back and they won 3-2. Antonio Van Veek on the left. They always cause the Orlando Pirates problems with that counter. More especially, that's the first thing I think Steve focused on, that high line. In my opinion, sometimes with Devin Titus, more especially when they would find the ball after breaking with the forward pass. Sometimes when you expect Devin Titus to appear and run behind, but they had a lot of defensive work. I think their main priority about Devin Titus was to protect the fullback. Because if you check, Shane, they made sure with Brocky direct line. Kaula doesn't play, Mbatha doesn't play. They made sure, that's why Tito, he's the only one in that midfield. And that's why he interpreted his number 10 differently from the previous two games that he played Bafana, Nase Algeria. Because if you check out, drop a 2 Tito. For me, in my opinion, good substitution will keep Kaula in the first half. Because I've been complaining, I've been saying he's done well Mazul, because you don't want to sound that grateful. And we're not here to always criticize players. But I had said, maybe the quality Gamatala was to play Mazul. For me, Orlando Pirates needs a general. And how do they need a general? In situations, Shane, where ban press very high, 1v1, where you must win your midfield duels, Shane. That's where the best midfielders shine. And for me, in my opinion, Orlando Pirates needs an 8 that will always dictate the tempo, a midfielder that will always dominate the game, even when the chips are not allowing him. You understand, Shane? I am expecting a little bit of arrogance, Mbatha. And for me, this season, ever since the season has started, Mbatha genuinely looks like an average midfield. He doesn't look special, Shane. He's good. I've praised him last season, I'm a talent, our funny and so forth. But for me, in my opinion, I'm checking him assessor thoroughly. I actually realized that there's nothing special about the boy, but the boy is good. He can improve into being a goal-scoring midfielder, actually. He's got an incredible quality of half-10 and progressing the game. He's got an ability of not so many midfielders that have in the PSL of taking shots outside the box. He's got it there. He can be a box-to-box midfielder that can take shots outside the box. But should you expect a special pass from the boy? I don't think so. Do you expect a dominant performance in midfield from the boy? Sometimes I don't think so. And for me, they need a midfield. I think that's Provilla Namhlanje, the Stellenbosch boys. If you check Unduli Namhlanje, they absolutely dominated that midfield. Maybe, yes, not on the ball because they did not have the ball, but physicality, you understand, Shane, knowing how to cover distance, defending in midfield, which is something that they need to understand about Mbatha, that they need to defend, they need to be good on the ball, in my opinion. Looking at Turile, they couldn't play today because they blocked the direct line. They couldn't allow. They become a 2v1. 2v1. You understand? If you check, Cupido is a striker, but he always plays as a 9. But today was on the left-hand side. 2v1. Good cover from Umdaba. I think Umdaka won his duels as well. Good cover from Umdaba as well. But if you check the performance of his Stellenbosch, I don't want to overly praise them, because buying a low block, for me, in my opinion. But also from an Orlando Pirates perspective, I don't think Orlando Pirates fans should panic. You understand? You cannot criticize a team that has scored 13 goals, Shane, that has scored 10 goals at home, that has only conceded 3 goals, 5 clean sheets. For me, it's in November. It's their first loss in the log in the Betway Premiership. I don't think the Orlando Pirates fans need to panic, in my opinion. I think playing against Stellenbosch, you have to accept the fact that you created opportunities and you couldn't capitalize. You dominated the game in the second half because it was a one-way. For me, it looked like a training session. You guys had to break that block. And it's important to mention this, Shane. Mamelodi Sundowns get criticized for breaking a low block. In football, the biggest thing to deal with for modern coaches, Shane, is to break a low block. And for me, you Orlando Pirates, they do have wingers that are dribbling wizards, that are quick. Umfukeng is a thinker, Utito. But for me, in my opinion today, I think what you can do is to give credit to the defensive work that Stellenbosch has done. But for me, Orlando Pirates as well, they played well. They should not panic. The season is very long. It's a marathon.
Well, they should not panic, but get Stellenbosch walking away with all 3 points. That's it for iDiskiTV.